This show is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find the other great shows on the network, head over to thedeluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill. You want to be my wife?
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.
What is going on? And welcome to Take on the World, or Nerds, or Games, or Arcade, or whatever we're going to call it. With
Nathan Blaze, that's my name.
and
Lexi.
and Mike D. Our last episode, we took on our top 3 favorite video games. And since we were trying to do a shorter format, it didn't work.
No.
We were
Interesting.
an hour, at least. I'm going to do a little housekeeping. We are on the Deluxe Edition Network. The Deluxe Edition is a group of podcasters get together, help promote each other. There's some great shows on the network. Go to www.deluxeeditionnetwork.com. She's scrolling. He's ignoring me.
He's satellite recording. I don't know.
So, on the Den Network, every month they have a Spotlight podcast, and this month it is Flet Lives. And this podcast does movie reviews. He does some watch-alongs. So check them out. We did not get a chance to do our honorable mentions, and I think there's some great video games on all our honorable mention lists. At least I know there are on mine and probably on Lexi's. Nathan's, I am not quite sure about.
I'm looking at them. I see what all of them say, and they're all garbage. So
Okay.
Well, you know what?
But
Millennial.
Lexi, you have seen 2 of mine, and you know they are not garbage.
no, they're not.
Okay. So, we'll do a round table again. I only have 2 on my list here, but I'm going to mention a couple others. I'm not going to go in depth on them because I did no research on them.
Yeah, that's like my list here. My games I love but did not make the list because who only picks 5 games that are their favorite list. Those I didn't do research on. I just was thinking of games that I put a lot of hours into that I love, that I've purchased 3-4 times on different systems or remakes or what have you.
In that
Not
vein,
sorry.
I have thought of a couple that I also would like to spit out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start again. President and CEO of everything. Legend of Zelda.
Legend of Zelda is on my games I love but did not make my list.
Going from Solid Snake, Legend of Zelda.
Do you know why? They're both games you can play by yourself.
Yes. Precisely. Now mine is more over the series. I know that you are thinking specific.
I am thinking very specific. I am thinking of the original. Now, I did do some research on the series.
I don't know if he discovered, though, we shall not speak of games.
Want of Gamelon?
Don't mention it.
CDI game.
Legend of Zelda was a Nintendo Entertainment System release in North America in 1987. I played this on NES, old school. It's a single player action adventure.
Single action revolver.
It was published by Nintendo, and it is the first game in the long-running Zelda series. The story centers around an elf named Link, an elf like Link, and he's on a quest to rescue Princess Zelda from Ganon.
Okay, first of all, they're called Highlands.
They're not elves.
This is from the research.
Your research is wrong.
Okay.
Actually,
It was a
Yeah.
It was a critical and commercial success for Nintendo. I would say Nintendo built its legacy on this game.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
Mario, Zelda.
Yep.
Mario, Zelda, the big wigs.
Yeah, big wig.
It com-
Sonic, you know how it goes.
It combines role playing, action, and adventure. Very appealing and beautiful fairy tale quality. The battery backup save feature, the charming graphics, superb original music, excellent animation, and smooth transition in scrolling between locations were some of the highlights of this game.
Yes.
A deep, rich gaming experience that goes far beyond a typical cartridge game. For a cartridge game, I thought it was very, I don't want to say 8-bit, maybe 16 or 32-bit. But I think this was a must-have game for almost every Nintendo owner.
You would be
absolutely.
hard pressed to find someone who hasn't seen a single sprite, area, whatever from this game.
Yeah, I agree. For
So
sure.
that's the first one on my runner-up list. Nathan!
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you go ahead. Hurry up.
All right.
You have 3. I have 2.
2000. All right. So, once again, no particular order. I had a meltdown trying to figure this out, but I was able to narrow it down to top 3 and 3 honorable. So here's the honorable mention. The first one on the list, Terraria.
Ugh.
Developed by the American game developer Relogic and released in May 2011. Terraria is an action-adventure open-world sandbox game. And I have on here in quotes,
2D Minecraft.
2D Minecraft. Some people get very angry. I think it's fun.
I don't know.
I
I just like
always-
the wizard. That's it.
I always felt it was like generic Minecraft.
Kind of like it's a little bit different. I feel like it goes in a little bit more depth in some things because it doesn't have 3D graphics.
Some ways, and it takes a different direction. Minecraft, they wanted to make it more simplistic. Terraria, it became bigger and ambitious. Some of that might be due because only the 2 dimensions, maybe. Regardless, I love this game. You can play it single player, perfectly fine. You can play it multiplayer and still have the same challenge. Some of the things, like the bosses that you can fight, can scale. And one of the cool things about the game is that the bosses, you can almost choose to fight them on your own terms. Like, you can set up your own thing
Yeah.
to fight most of the bosses. Maybe 1 or 2 that you can't. But most of them, you can build your own arena and optimize everything. Your gear, there's different set bonuses for having a full set. The weapons are cool. There's a bunch of different classes you can play. Like, there's Summoner, so you can summon little guys to go fight for you. There's the melee class, where you just straight up the dude with the sword that shoots magic lasers.
If it shoots stuff, it's not melee.
Okay. Link also had a magic sword that shot stuff. So
I didn't call it melee.
Anyways, there's
Elf Link.
ranged. There's ranged. Go from swords and bows to shotguns and rocket launchers. But it just works. It works in the environment the game builds. Magic, guns, and technology.
like you can build essentially whatever like you think you can build in that game.
The limitation in that game is pretty much.
Oh,
And
I like
It's very complicated though.
for the
Very
generic
complex.
Minecraft.
Yeah, very complex.
like,
Oh, Roblox is the other generic Minecraft,
okay,
right?
Roblox is on his list right there. I see.
Is it?
No.
no,
Oh,
I almost did. Almost
Why?
did.
because he played it. He played it a lot.
A lot. But yeah, Terraria, you can get really specific and really complicated if you play Summoner. You basically have to. or you can just relax and
I find it hard to believe that you would do anything that's complicated.
I find it hard to believe that you do anything that's relaxing.
you both
Hollow
would
Knight.
be surprised.
Other game that's on your list.
I find Hollow Knight very relaxing most of the time.
No, it's not relaxing.
So yeah, you can be really relaxed. Just oh hey, here's this thing I found in this chest. I'm gonna run around with this, and you can be perfectly fine. It's not like Dungeons and Dragons where you have to specifically set up a build. You can in Terraria, but you don't have to. And I always come back to this game. It's like an addiction, and I will relapse and come back to this game every once in a while. In fact, right now, just 3 days ago,
No,
I had another,
don't tell me.
and I'm picking the game back up.
We are so disappointed. Get yourself help.
There are so many good games out there. How this is an honorable mention on your list, I will never know. It's your list, though, dude. Love what you love. I don't judge.
So, there is story of the game, but it kind of have to. Well, for a long time, you had to look hard to find it, but now they're coming out with comics that are supposed to explain the story.
Roblox comics.
Terraria.
Oh,
not
whatever.
Roblox.
Same thing. Generic Minecraft comics.
But
How do you put Terraria in a comic?
well, because
Don't answer that, please.
the characters, they gave each of the characters personalities, and then they made one up for the player character. I assume. I haven't read the comics yet. I don't know. But you
Now
go around.
Now they're destroying comic books too.
You go around, and the idea of the game kind of is that you start off, you're just this dude. You have a guy that starts with you. You build a house for him. He's like your guy. He's called the guy. He's the tutorial NPC. And you build other houses, get more people. You kill monsters, slay the big monsters, kill the threats, and then you end up taking out space.
Okay.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I wouldn't say cool, but good for you, bro.
Hey everyone, my name is Maddie. Ever since I was a kid, I loved public speaking and writing for fun. It gave me an outlet to discuss exactly what was on my mind without judgment. However, as I got older, I started realizing the importance of fully being yourself. Rather than keeping a journal of all my thoughts, the Mad Tea Talk is raw and honest, coming forward about life's challenges. This show is all about loving, accepting, and improving yourself. From wide ranges of self-reflection, growth, friendships, and relationships, all topics are discussed in a motivating yet honest light. Thank you to all who listen, as I am so thankful for the support you have given me. And if you're new to the Mad Tea Talk, it is available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon podcasts, with every episode available Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Enjoy.
Lexi?
So the first runner-up that I chose is a game that I play several times a year. Stardew Valley was
Yep.
released in
Yeah.
February.
What is it?
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley.
Stardew.
Stardew. Okay.
Was released.
Just had a crossover.
You know my
Terraria.
hearing is like
They
not
did.
good.
I was supposed to say it had a crossover with Terraria. It was released.
Just
It was released in February 26th of 2016. Stardew Valley is a relaxing farming simulator / RPG. You play
relaxing.
it is relaxing. Shut up. You play a character miserable at their corporate job, and you get a letter from your grandfather leaving you land in a cabin in Stardew Valley. You leave your job, move, and find a cute little town. The land is overrun with rocks, trees, and weeds. This is where you decide what kind of game you're going to play. There are many different areas to explore, including a cave system, a desert, and a spa. There are scheduled encounters that vary by time and day, and random world events like earthquakes, shooting stars, and a fairy that can speed the progress of your crops when they visit. There are
Farmville?
no. So
More-
much more.
So much.
There are two different storylines to play. One where you help the small town of Stardew Valley prosper, and one where you sell your soul to the big store chain and create Corporate Valley. Helping the town prosper is the most fun and gives you the most playtime per year because each game is by season. So at the end of a year, you start the new seasons again. So it's played per year. It gives you the most playtime per year. That is not an option. Helping the store is so boring and everything sucks. Why would you do it?
Corporate greed.
Down with corporate America.
It's literally like, give us money, and then you just give them a bunch of money. So you really only have to do like the most profitable things. Whereas if you help the town prosper, you go to the recreational center, you spruce it up, and there are these little spirits called Junimos, which are adorable.
They are.
And they essentially take specific crops in different seasons. So like it'll say, these are the crops that you have to grow this season, we need one of each. And you take one of each of those crops there. So it kind of encourages you to play more of the game. Whereas like when you are venturing in the caves, you can come out with different stones, crystals, rocks, etc. So you kind of have to do more of that stuff. So if you help the town, you get to see Junimo, and then they're the cutest things on the planet. Are you a sociopath? Why would you help the store? There are many different achievements. You can fish in saltwater or freshwater. You're able to mine in caves for crystals, resources, and survive an onslaught of monsters for rare items. You can even ignore all the NPCs and just farm. Alternatively, you can choose to become friends with different townspeople and even get married.
So it's kind of a choose your own story type thing.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
very,
Right.
very open. This is why I love it so much, because there's so many different things that you can do when you replay.
It is actually
You can also have a dog or a cat that never gets hurt and
What do
is
you get to
pretty
kill?
much just there to be cute. Tons of different kinds of monsters.
Okay.
There's in the cave systems. I'm going to get into it, but there is like a different kind of format of your farm that you can choose where like monsters come and attack you at night and stuff like that. So there are different types of modes that you can play that give you more challenge. So in addition to all the different things that you can do in game, you can customize your pixel character and your farm itself. You can choose several different types of land, including land that is connected to a beach, an area with a rock garden where crystals and like mushrooms and other rare things that you would find in the caves could appear, a farm with a lake, or a farm where monsters will spawn after dark and attack, just to name a few. I think there are like 2 or 3 more. I have over 200, probably close to 300 or 400 hours in Stardew Valley between Steam, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 4. Well, this is
Rookie
like,
numbers.
but this is like a game where you have to really understand that like these are times where like I would just go over to Isaiah's house and we would sit there and play for 10 hours at a time. So it's like,
So it's a game you can walk away from and come back?
yeah, you can pretty much. I mean, at some point, like you're gonna say like, what the hell was I doing? But you're still gonna have crops to go out and farm. So like once you pull those crops up, you're gonna know what you're doing. You're gonna be right back to where you were. So it's very, very good like that. I love the relaxing music, the smooth and calm visuals, beautiful colors, and funny characters. It's a game that is very easy to get lost in for hours.
Okay.
It has such cute graphics. It's like a pixel style. So like there's nothing that's too in depth or in detail, but there are like character portraits and stuff like that, and there are some scenes that are actually like drawn out or like painted kind of like digitally or whatever it might be. But the colors are absolutely beautiful. I think they do a really, really good job with everybody's a little bit different. Everybody has personalities, and their colors kind of almost match like the kind of person that they are. So it's really interesting. I think it's a really good game, and definitely if you're looking for something that I'm hearing the farm music in my head right now,
I know,
and it's distracting me.
Too.
But if you just want to sit down and like lose yourself, it's really good. You can play with other people. There are you have to start like a co-op farm versus like a solo farm.
I played co-op.
But my best friend and I play co-op for, hours and fun, hours and hours and hours and hours, all time. It's such a good game, and it's a really good game, especially that we like to play during the winter time because we just kind of like huddle up under the blankets, like one of us has a chair each, and then we both have a screen, and we're just playing Stardew Valley. We don't have to worry about, like, oh, it's cold, we can't be outside right now, or, whatever. So, definitely one of my favorites.
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley.
Okay, my second honorable mention, and I will mention that I like this series up to and including this game. Anything after it, I think is poop.
You're so but you picked that.
Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare, was a pretty decent.
Yeah, no, I'm just poking fun.
I know. But
Again, it's a game that I could play by myself.
the last one.
Because after that, the next Call of Duty, I bought it. I played through in like a
Was the
matter.
next one Black Ops?
No, the next one was just 4. I remember it.
No,
No, I think there was a 4, and then there was a 4 Modern
there's
Warfare.
a Modern Warfare 2, and then there's Black Ops.
Oh, Modern Warfare 2.
So, after this game, it became more of an online game.
Yeah.
If you played through the story mode, I played through literally in 3 hours.
It's
And
very short.
me being
100% of the game in like 3 hours. I was so pissed off because you spent $60 on a game.
Yeah.
And there's no story mode.
there's
Yeah.
no game.
The only way you could play it is if you play online, which I do not enjoy.
No.
Because and I did play online a little bit, but these guys who play online, like they just
So insane. And you gotta think,
they
too,
whoop me. Like
this is like in 2007, so this was like especially during the start of like all of like the really big COD
Yeah.
YouTubers and commentators and stuff too, I'm sure. So you were probably getting whooped by a lot of real famous people.
yeah, probably. I know one guy used to fucking come up behind me and stab me in the neck, and I'd die. Like every time I came on the screen.
A lot of people like that.
Ugh. Anyway, so this was released in 2007. It was a first-person shooter. I did enjoy. Actually, I really liked the first and the second one. They were World War II theme based,
Oh yes,
and I remember
those were good.
playing the first one, and I was like, "Holy shit!" There was explosions. There was loud. There was cutscenes. You were coming on the beaches of Normandy. It was ridiculous. I loved it. But this one, yeah. This one is, I think, this is the first one I bought. I had borrowed the other one from somebody else.
Yeah.
We had the PS3. I think I was playing on that. This is the fourth installment in the series. It's the first one that breaks away from the World War II theme. It won numerous awards from gaming websites. It sold 16 million copies. It was IGN's best Xbox 360 game. It was considered to be one of the greatest video games of all time by somebody.
Doubt.
There's no doubt. I enjoyed this game immensely. The game, like the story mode gameplay, wasn't extremely long, but I probably put 15 hours total into it.
Well, I'm right, so you're wrong.
Oh,
The game has received universal acclaim, except from Nathan.
I honestly don't remember too much of the game. I think
Reviewers have say they have brought this genre to a new level of immersion and intensity that we've never seen before, which I will tell you from the first one, so true. Like there is stuff blowing up next to you. There's a guy telling you, come on, move up the beach. It was, nothing can ever put you in that situation except for being in that situation.
Yeah.
But I felt that, like, I felt an adrenaline rush playing the first one. I felt an adrenaline rush playing this one. This one was the first one with modern weapons, modern equipment. I enjoyed it. Some people, obviously, Nathan does not, which is cool. But he plays Terraria, so
I actually
he
remember
plays the
enjoying
next
this.
2 games on his list. So
so that's my
You're like,
number 2.
my face.
Don't.
Stop.
That's
This is
my
why I
number
got
2.
kicked out of school.
And go ahead, and I'll touch on my honorable mention to my honorable mention list after.
Yeah, I think you and I only have 2, and Nathan has 3.
Okay. Oh, so okay, go ahead.
And then I have my small list.
Do yours and then.
Okay, so my next honorable mention.
And I will mention that your honorable mention list is one honorable mention too long.
Yeah, I know.
After I said 2.
Yeah, I tried.
Struggled, but I did it.
The whole point was it was supposed to be hard. Because this was a hard call for me. Because there are other games that, well, you know, because you were up there when I was researching it.
Okay, I'm just going to say, Resident Evil wasn't on your list.
He looked.
There is a reason why, and I will tell the story when we get back to me. And
I was shocked when I saw Metal Gear Solid and not Resident Evil. I was like,
Resident Evil was going to be on my list, but I could not find the game.
I even helped him. I had my friends come in and try and help find it.
Well, let him do his, and then we'll talk about it, because there is a story behind why it's not on, and it was one I was going to mention anyway, because I knew both of you would come up with more than 2 honorable mentions.
Listen, I only wrote about 2.
Okay.
Hey guys, this is Ron. Do you like movies?
Hey guys, this is Ragnar. Do you like alcohol?
Hey guys, this is Stu. Do you like punishments?
Hey guys, this is Chase. You want to hear me get alcohol poisoning?
Hey guys, this is Lenny. Ever wonder what a spicy boner is? If so, come on down to Barrel Age Flicks and give us a listen.
Nathan?
This one goes with Terraria, but I couldn't have one without having.
Yes, you could.
I think you could have because of the save game.
This one is Starbound.
Space Terraria.
That is literally what I have written. Space Terraria.
Can you tell that Nathan and I are fucking related?
You know, we got 2D Minecraft, Space Terraria. So Starbound was developed by the British game developer and publisher Chucklefish Unlimited.
Oh, yeah. Never heard of him.
Released July 2016 was its full release. I couldn't find when its early access started. I tried, I couldn't find it. But Starbound is an action-adventure, open world sandbox game. I'm gonna get into that. Why
Nathan likes sandbox games.
Space Terraria.
He's a child.
So,
although he's no longer a teenager.
Technically not a child. Technically a child.
Starbound is very much optimized for single player. It has multiplayer, but it was almost added as an afterthought. It is
the way 76 feels.
Except 76 was added with multiplayer. Was created with multiplayer.
Yeah, but it should be an open world game. Single player.
It should.
Continue.
So, it feels like multiplayer was added as an afterthought.
Well, you literally have to download a whole entire other fucking thing to play multiplayer.
Likely was. So,
was it an afterthought?
Now, Nathan, I'm just going to say, we're just going to talk about the game and nothing else. Because the rest of it's too political.
Okay. So
you're like, what?
This game was doomed to be an honorable mention, no matter how many games. I could have 1,000 games, and it would still be because it has a lot. Like unlike Terraria, all of the bosses, you can't. There's one way to fight them.
So let me ask you a question. Yeah. Is it an honorable mention for a nostalgia reason? Or is it an honorable mention because you really, really love the game?
I like the game. I really, 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 really want to love it. But it just, the shortcomings hurt it. Like, the bosses, there's only one way to fight the bosses. And progression is the game very much. I get this thing, immediately move on to the next thing until I can't move on. You don't linger at any point in progression, except for these few set ones. But there's like 6 points of progression in between, and then the story. So you're part of this organization called Protect, something like that. They're like a space military just out to help people. Their home base is Earth, led by humans. Earth gets destroyed and the Protectorate gets scattered, and you're one of the last ones. And then you're meeting up with remaining people, and you're trying to do all this research on the other space races, space civilizations, and you're trying to track down these places to find these artifacts so that you can fight the final boss. There's multiple bosses. But the way you progress is, okay, so I have to travel to this kind of planet to find these people, and then I have to scan every object they own until I have scanned enough objects to go to this place to fight this boss. And then I beat the boss, and then I go to this specific planet to find towns with this race of people on it, and scan all of their stuff, so on and so forth until you beat the game. So it is unlike Terraria. There's one way. Where in Terraria, there's 100 different ways to play. And you can do it differently. You can do the same way differently. But this game, there is one way to play, and it is very, very repetitive. It doesn't have good replay. The reason why I want to love it is because the art's cute, pretty. I love space.
All I'm going to say about Starbound is Spacebird.
Spacebird. And the races. You got Spacebird, Monkey,
Space Monkey?
Big Brother. Big Brother, that's their entire gimmick. They have like a Big Brother gimmick going on.
Gimmick?
Yeah.
What's a gimmick?
What's a gimmick?
You don't know what a gimmick is?
It's a thing.
What's the thing?
It's a gimmick.
Okay. You have, they're called, this one race, they're called the Nova Kid. What they are...
The Novocaine.
Kid. Nova Kid. They're walking stars.
So you're playing some kind of drug game.
They're walking, talking stars, but their social development stopped in the Wild West.
Partner.
So they have like trains that are spaceships, that kind of thing. There's the Nova Kid, there's the Florin, which are like plant people, flower people. They're like wild hunters, stuff like that. So, like, a bunch of cool ideas, unique ideas, and there's a long story in the development. It gets a little bit political, so I'm not going to go into it.
Good. We don't do politics here.
But the guy leading the project was kind of a jerk. Got a bunch of young programmers to help work on the game. Didn't pay them.
Or credit them.
Or credit any of them.
Cocksucker.
Yeah.
So,
real shitty, but
that is why it's doomed to be an honorable mention. Because of those shortcomings, because of that. But I want to love it. I want to play it, but it's not worth it to replay it.
What? Oh.
My phone fits perfectly in this door. Sorry.
The game was amazing on the first playthrough. Second playthrough was...
So it's cool, it's a good game, has good stuff, but not great.
And what's it called?
Could be better.
Starbound.
Starbound.
Starbound. I also have the game.
He technically has it too.
Well, that's the Rio.
Yeah.
I don't.
So do you have a third one?
I have to do my second one.
Oh, that's okay. Do your second one.
Yeah, this is our second one still. Nathan's just, 3 hours. I'm kidding. So, for my second runner-up, this was very tough, or honorable mention. It was very tough to put this as an honorable mention, but it's for the sheer fact that, for me, I love these games, but it's a series, whereas, Battle for Bikini Bottom is one game, and I will play it over and over and over again. For this, it's a little bit more complicated because there's more than one game. I know I put Kingdom Hearts on here, and I also put Fallout or Elder Scrolls, but it's different. I don't know how, but it just feels different to me. I love this game in a different way. So, Persona 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
It's a series of games. There is a 1 and 2. I didn't play the second one. I think the second one is the one that's also Soul Survivor or something like that. It was another thing where, like, when they came from Japan, they were weird with the numbers and stuff, similar to Final Fantasy. So I didn't play 1 and 2. I did go back and eventually play the remake of 1 that they released on the PSP. I still haven't played any of the 2s, though. And the PSP game, it had some good tunes. I liked the environment, like the aspects of it, but it just didn't have the same punch that the other games did, so it didn't catch me as much, which is why I didn't include those 2 on this list. But if they make a 6, I'm sure I'm going to love it. So, Persona 3 was released in July 2006, 4 July 2008, and 5 September 2016. Which I purchased Persona 5 on release, and immediately in the first week had like 40 hours into it. It was very, very good. Anyway, so the Persona series is similar to Final Fantasy, where the storylines in the game don't really have anything to do with each other, but there's always something about them that is the same, i.e. a Sid Highwind, 8 Sith Easter eggs, the summons that are the same throughout the games in Final Fantasy, the Warrior of Light / Crystal's Chosen
weren't the
Ones.
Final Fantasy games like generational?
They don't really. So there are theories that there's like some aspects to them where like some of them do connect and stuff like that, but overall they're not really set in like the same exact world every time.
Okay.
Like the characters don't usually know each other.
Like
stuff like
I
that.
played 7, and I played something before that, but
probably 5 or 6.
Probably. I don't think I played beyond that, and I didn't play beyond 7.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were generational.
They changed, so I would say 7, 8, and 9 are very similar in the way that like the aspects of like 7 is very futuristic, 8 is kind of like almost like a middle line, and 9 is like a path.
Well, how can it be the Final Fantasy like 13 times?
But like they're not technically like the same. It's just that they kind of all fall where like.
So Persona's more connected?
In a way. Because technically they all take part in different parts of Japan at different times. So technically they do all happen in the same world, but maybe it's like a parallel universe or something sometimes.
Okay.
Kind of thing. It's weird. They don't have like in the games there is no explanation for it or anything like that. It's all like developer talk and like speculation, stuff like that. So there's always something that's a little bit similar about them. So in the games, you're a teenager somewhere in Japan and your life is now upside down. Something happens. There's something that changes in your life. Sometimes in one of them, it's you are convicted of a felony, but you're a minor, so you're sent to live someplace else and go to like a private school. One of them is your parents are away, so you're staying with your uncle. And then in the other one, you go to like a boarding school. You end up going to like a boarding school kind of thing in the third one. So the characters are assigned, like the main characters are assigned tarot card arcana when they are introduced, and they're referred to that arcana by the game. So like by your kind of like third party in the game that's like, hey, this is what's happening to you. I'm like in this limbo where Persona is happening outside of your world, and I'm kind of helping you learn how to harness your power. Like that character kind of refers to all of your friends as their major or minor arcana. I think they're all major arcana. The major arcana. So they refer to them as that, and that's how you know. That's how you level up the summon power of your persona, and kind of level up your fighting power as well as your social links with your friends, which help you in other ways as well. So you spend time with your friends, you summon the power of Persona to fight weird monsters, and high school hijinks ensues. The games have you balancing school life, home life, recreation, and saving the world. You have social stats, or social skills, which allow you to progress certain parts of the game with different options, control different enemies, and see different and cool cutscenes, even unlocking new dialogue options and places to explore in some cases.
Well, if you have to have social skills, I'm out.
You get to do really cool things like eating giant hamburgers.
I could do that.
Yeah, that's how in Persona 5, that's how you build up your quote-unquote guts, which is one of your social stats. So, depending on the game, your social stats range from 3 to 5. In Persona 3, you're able to choose from a male or female protagonist. Your social stats are academics, courage, and charm. They each have 5 ranks, and you level them up by performing different tasks or conquering different challenges. In Persona 3, this is the only one that has this because this is the only game currently that you can choose a male or female protagonist. But the names of the rank differ depending on which protagonist you choose. So if you choose the male protagonist, your charm max rank is called charismatic, but for the female, it's called bewitching. So they kind of like change it depending on which protagonist you choose, which is kind of cool. Kind of cool. So in Persona 4, you have courage, diligence, understanding, expression, and knowledge. And in Persona 5, you have knowledge, guts, proficiency, kindness, and charm. You have to pass midterms, finals, and fight off suspicion from your classmates, family, and teachers as you work against the villain and grow stronger with your friends and classmates as Persona users. I'm a weeb. I love anime. I love Japanese, South Korean culture. I love learning about Chinese culture even, and the like just all the different kinds of like mythology and stuff behind them. Like I just love learning about it. So these games are really cool for me because like playing these games is I don't know how to explain it. I just know like when I'm playing these games, like I think if I ever go to Japan, I'm gonna be playing these soundtracks on repeat as I walk the back streets of Tokyo. Like these songs are the songs that I think of when I'm like
if you walk
down
the back streets of Tokyo, they're gonna kill you.
Not those back
You
streets.
might as well just go to Chicago and get shot.
Not those back streets. I'm gonna get stabbed. Anyway, but you know what I mean. So like the artistic and musical direction is so good in these games. Like that's one thing that I love about any kind of entertainment, art, games, anything. Colors, lines, music, they're just all so good. The battle themes are real hype tracks. Nathan and myself will just scream the lyrics across the house at each other. The soundtracks are literally perfect.
Yes.
The characters are mostly interesting, and the main group of people that are assigned to the Tarot Arcana have usually fun side stories to do, which are unlocked by hanging out with someone until they love you enough to give you the time of day. Some friends are needy and will ask you to hang out 30 days in a row, and some will only be available at a certain time. Going on adventures with these people will unlock new areas to explore around you in your off time, and some of these allow you to see cool Japanese landmarks or something of cultural significance. Because, again, you're playing a Japanese high schooler, so you'll go to, like, Akihabara or something like that, which is really, really cool. They go to Harajuku. They go to the red light district. Like, really, really cool stuff. You also fight monsters day in and day out as people around you are missing or found dead. You are literally a teenager just trying to live that is forced to save not only Japan, but what is implied to be the world, as in Persona 5, the main characters go on a school trip to Hawaii. There are struggles and burdens, and the issues and topics shown in the game are very good representations of real-life struggles people go through, despite the outlandishness of some of the enemies you battle. I can't say enough about these games, and I could go on for actual ever.
Actual ever.
They are so good.
So since I follow the rules, I don't have a number 3.
Same.
Nathan?
Okay.
Non-rule follower.
Starbound and Terraria count. They're almost the same.
Yet it took an hour to explain them.
Okay. My final game I had to put on here I had. The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, also known as the game that gets me kicked out of the house.
This game is shitty poo poo. And Nathan agrees.
Oh, you put a sucky game on your runner-up favorite game list.
Well, I love it, but I hate that I love it. It's a very infuriating
And what's
game.
it called?
The Binding of Isaac Rebirth.
It's a rebirth because there was an original Binding of Isaac and then they re-released it.
Did you just, Lexi, jump ahead?
I did.
Okay, well, the reason why it was remade.
I didn't say why.
Okay, well, yes. The original Binding of Isaac was a Flash game released in 2011. And developer, he wanted to get it on the Nintendo 3DS. So he remade the game from the ground up on a new engine that could run at 60 frames per second, run smoothly, have better, kind of like this pixel graphics, but very, very pretty pixel graphics. Smooth pixel graphics, extend the game, add more items, and everything. And applied for the license so that the game could be released on Nintendo 3DS, and Nintendo said no at first because
very mature.
It's religious theme. I was going to say before Lex was that the game is inspired heavily by religion and the developers' interactions and growing up. Long story short, his mom was freaky about religion. He had magic cards, Magic the Gathering.
Oh, yeah.
She burned them because they were devil cards. He wasn't allowed trading cards, nothing. So that's his experience with religion. And so applied to get licensed so that yes.
I think you said that already.
Yes.
They said no.
Okay.
They said no.
They said no.
Originally.
Years later, they did. After the game had several expansions and add-ons that added even more religious and graphic content. And then they decided, oh, okay, now it's okay.
It was weird.
Yes.
But it made it.
Yes. It did. Sorry, I'm lost. Oh. The way that I found out about the game, my friends would play it all the time. All the time. And I'd be sitting there, do my own thing, playing my own game, or on
Probably
the rare,
Team Fortress 2.
yeah, on the rare occasion doing schoolwork, and they'll be in the background playing it all the time. And I had expressed interest in it a few times.
Mistake.
So, mistake. Big mistake. My one friend bought it.
This guy you know.
He bought it for me. But he couldn't buy the entire game in one because the way Steam works, so he had to give me a gift card to buy the game. And he had sent me like this long description that was like, Nathaniel, Isaac needs your help. Just going on about the game and its story, and like, he needs your help.
Oh my god.
And so, reason why this is an honorable mention, because I hate that I love the game. It's infuriating. It's hard. I love it. I hate it. I love it. I hate it. I love it.
Good.
Sounds like a great game.
It is pretty cool. There are a bunch of different characters that you can play. There's a bunch of different like items that like give you like different boosts, or like even some that like harm you, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Like there's a lot of different challenges and stuff. It's a good game. Like speedrunners love it.
It's
fast.
Roguelike.
Thing I hate.
I love roguelikes.
Right, Mike.
But it's a little bit graphic. It is heavily religious. Fighting your inner demon, your inner Satan. Also very graphic because you're a dead child. These are like the dying, delirious dreams of a child, suffocating.
But that sounds like fun.
You don't find that out until later.
Yeah, that's like at the end of the
game. Okay. The Dead Child game.
Yes, aka the game that gets me kicked out of the house. And now I better start packing.
Play what you play.
No, it's because he's just screaming back there. That's the other game that he's always back there about all the time. That's the game that, like, literally, I'll be on one side of the house. I will hear somebody just screaming at Nathan. Because he's just screaming in his room. And I'm like, what is happening?
So, what could have made my list, but did not, was Resident Evil.
Yes.
I swore that I played that on Sega Genesis. Yet I could not find a Resident Evil game on Sega Genesis.
I could swear that you played it on Sega Genesis.
I could not find it. None of my friends
What is
could
the
find
other
it.
one?
The Mega Drive?
The Dreamcast?
The Saturn?
Dreamcast.
I didn't have a Dreamcast.
Sega Saturn?
No, Dreamcast was a cartridge. Wasn't it?
The Dreamcast was a console.
I mean, but
And
it was
Saturn
a cartridge
was a console.
wasn't it?
But I didn't have a Sega Saturn.
No, I swear that you played it on...
When I always tell that story, I always tell...
So do I.
The Sega Genesis. However, it must have been PlayStation.
Well, I guess it has to be. If it's not Genesis.
So I couldn't find the
Genesis,
exact game that I played.
We tried.
And my decision was, if I can't find the game, how can it be on my list?
Oh, PlayStation. That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we just got Mandela affected.
Yeah.
Everybody in this family has the same memory.
Right.
That's insane.
So the reason I love this game was because you used to watch me play it. And there were some spider-like creatures that would come across the ceiling, and you would always shout out when the spider-like creatures were coming at me.
Yeah, the freaking crawly lickers.
So, you're like, here comes another one, Dad. And you were so little.
Yeah.
And we were sitting in a house in Haven on that Berber carpet.
Yep.
And we had pillows behind us, and we had something to drink next to us, and you would just shout out when you saw the creatures coming at me, and we would sit there and play that for hours.
I remember that too, and that's why that is so crazy.
And I always thought it was Sega Genesis.
Here we are.
So Resident Evil, I don't know which game exactly it was it 1 or 2 or 3 or I don't remember.
It was either 1 or 2. 2 was definitely my favorite in the series, I think.
But 1, 2, and 3 all have the same mechanics and relatively same graphics. The location in them is different.
Yeah.
But I remember we were outside sometimes. We were in the mansion sometimes.
If it was in the mansion, then it was definitely 1.
Yeah, but if you look at the second one, you could mistake that for a mansion too at some parts.
Yeah, like some of there's like an outside part by the graveyard or something like that.
And I remember that too.
Because whenever you say that, whenever we talk about it, I always remember that because it has like that like wrought iron on top of like a stone wall, and I'm pretty sure that's the outside at.
But the mechanics on how you walk down the halls, go through doors.
Yeah, the tank mechanic.
Combine your ammo with your gun.
Yeah,
that's all the same. So anyway, it should have been on my list.
That is very, very weird.
Yeah, but I couldn't find the game. So, also another one that you and I used to play together, and you used to actually play this one, was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
I remember that.
Yeah,
and Dave Mirra's BMX. Now I played more of that with Bubba. Than you.
Yeah, but you still love.
I love playing those. The soundtrack on them was awesome.
Yep, always.
And the mechanics, I thought the graphics and mechanics were good.
Yeah.
It was not very glitchy. There were
not
some
really.
things.
Yeah, some things. And I'm sure, like, now if we went back and played it, we'd be like, oh my god, this is a glitchy mess. But,
Right.
like, then, we were just playing it because it was fun. I'm trying to think, oh my gosh, that was a really good game.
And PC-wise, Valheim, I enjoy that game.
Valheim's pretty good.
Although I stopped playing it because I got to a point where I really didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Isaiah and I played it for, I think we have maybe like 80 hours in it or something like that.
And then 7 Days to Die. I enjoyed playing that one, but again, the areas were too far apart for me, and
Yeah.
you spend all the time traveling back and forth to your home base, and so I just faded away from it. What was the other one? I played Rust shortly, and I enjoyed it, but
Wasn't there an arcade era game?
no. Well, I did not add any arcade era games.
Gauntlet, Dark Legacy.
Oh, Dark
Oh my
Legacy.
God,
Dark
you
Legacy,
have
Gauntlet, Dark Legacy.
awoken
We-
so many memories.
When I played that, both of y'all would play. He would love playing.
Oh my
it.
god, I love Gauntlet.
Oh,
Blue
where's the pen?
Valkyrie
I
needs
need to add
food
another-
badly.
Yes,
Sustenance.
but like I didn't add that because I fell in love with Gauntlet as a cabinet game,
Yeah, cabinet game.
and Dragon's Lair as a cabinet game,
Cabinet, yep.
and Afterburner as a cabinet game. So I didn't include cabinet games for that simple reason. But I did forget about Dark Legacy.
Yeah.
Which,
Well,
oh
we
my
were
God,
talking about
all
that
of us
'cause
played that.
You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking of me and Uncle Ryan sitting in the living room because we were playing Dark Legacy, and then we would play, it was a snowmobile game.
Oh,
Arctic Thunder.
Arctic Thunder, yes.
Arctic
Which
Thunder.
was also a cabinet game.
Yes, it was a cabinet game. I used to play it. And that one also had the bike that you could ride. I used to love playing that.
Well, the Top Gun game at one point did too.
Gosh.
But not Top Gun. Afterburner.
Yeah.
Afterburner was the very first game that I 100%ed on a 50-cent drop.
We're going to have to do another one that is just arcade.
Yeah, but I would have included arcade era, but really, Lexi knew a little bit about the arcade era. She was.
I didn't play too much in the arcade.
You never hardly ever, like maybe once or twice played in the arcade.
Yeah.
For me, the arcade era that was our thing. That's how you played a video
That's like
game.
maybe a you and John episode.
But even John is.
Well, he's too far on my side.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you two, if you want to, you can probably get away with doing Now Sit In, because there's a couple games that I have played that got ported from arcade to console.
Now I know when we went to Disney, when we went to
Disney
downtown
Quest.
Disney, we went to
Quest.
Disney Quest, and man, that was so nostalgic for me
That was
because
cool. I wish they would have kept
knew
that.
all those games.
I remember at the Disney Quest, the pirate one.
Nope, never heard of it.
We all had to do it because we didn't do the roller coaster simulator,
Because I didn't fit.
but we had to
Not
do
too
some.
fat.
We had to do some other pirate one. I remember that. It was
Actually,
like
I do remember that now that you mention it.
huge simulator room. I just remember I wanted to be the captain of the ship. You guys let me be the captain. We got to the final thing of it, and I'm over here trying to steer their ship and reaching over, manning one of the cannons.
I do remember it.
Oh my gosh. I might not have been there. Because I think you guys went to Disney Quest the day that I went to Disney.
That could be because I know we had a great time.
There were, 3 or 4 of us that just went over to the park.
I probably 80% at Afterburner on a single drop.
Probably.
Well, you didn't have to drop coins there, but
No.
you just press the button. But yeah. I think I 80%ed it, and I think Nathan just got tired of watching me play.
Because that game at that time would have been way above my skill level.
That game, the sit down version of that game, if I sat in that thing, it was like being in an F-15.
Yeah.
I will hunt down one just for you to keep it at the house.
Anyway, so I did not include cabinet games for that reason.
Some of the games that didn't make my list that I still love, Spyro the Dragon, I played as a kid. I played all of 3 of
Your
them.
mom played that game for you.
They were my favorite games ever as
Do
a
not
child.
say you played Spyro.
Okay, I played Spyro. I love Spyro, but nobody else let me love it the way I wanted to. Everybody wanted me to get everything in every level, and I just didn't give a shit. So everybody would go back and play.
I can see that.
Yeah. Crash Bandicoot, which
Oh, that
I
was
was
like Spyro.
not good at all, but
But it was like Spyro.
like Spyro.
Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda series, which we briefly talked about.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Well, you played the more recent
Twilight Princess.
Link.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Twilight Princess was the one that came out on the Wii that you got me. And that is by far my favorite Legend of Zelda game, I think. Pokemon games, of course. Diablo 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. I own it 3 different places.
I like Diablo.
Diablo.
Yeah. The Lego games are some of my favorite games. I play them all the time.
You know, I don't even know
Lego
why.
games.
I don't know why I didn't include that because I played so much Lego with him.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
I excluded Lego games because that would be my whole list.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're all just so good. Animal Crossing, plus more. So Resident Evil, anything else that we have mentioned or talked about that I've mentioned.
Who just picks 5?
Who just picked 5?
And that's a good point, but it was supposed to be hard.
I know. And that's why I just kind of like...
I cheated.
I played half by the rules.
So are there any titles you'd like to mention? Because you play some weird crap.
Yes, I do.
Because you played Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's. I got into that during the huge Five Nights at Freddy's fad. I played it because it was the cool thing to play. And honestly, I enjoyed it. I beat the first 3 games. The first 3 games at least once.
I like playing the
I
Friday the 13th game because I could scare the shit out of Lexi with it.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th game.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. It was. I think it was a Steam game.
Yeah.
Like early Steam.
Mm.
But
I don't remember.
Bubba and me would play it, just scare the shit out of her.
But I'm gonna name the game that is exactly like the one that I played because no one's gonna know what Identity is, but more people are gonna know what Dead by Daylight is. And you remember how I was telling you about that like Friday the 13th thing?
Yeah.
That's what Dead by Daylight is. It's 4 survivors and 1 killer.
But the one that you play is Identity V.
Yeah, the one I played was Identity V.
Which had a Persona 5 crossover for some reason.
Everything.
I know, but I don't understand how you have a Dead by Daylight game with Joker in it. Anyway.
So that would be one I would name. Y2K. That is a hot take. That is a very hot take. A lot of people do not like that game. They despise it because
it's about the early 2000s.
It's about 1999 transferring to year 2000, but the world is actually ending. There's a lot of weird themes. The main character is a huge jerk. He's self-centered. He is not a heroic character at all. Heroic. A lot of people don't like the game, but that ugliness of the game,
Nathan likes bad games.
Okay, I'm not going to argue. Why?
It's not necessarily a bad game. It's not a well-received game, and it's a game that is a little bit weird. It's not for everybody.
Yeah. You like some weird stuff.
That's fine.
Truth.
And I'm sure the second we turn off that camera.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel too.
I know, my gaming experience is much different than the games that were around. Like Alexi said, I played Pong when it first came out.
Tennis for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Table
No.
tennis.
No, I know both of them.
Pong was its standalone console.
Had the thing.
And I played all the Atari games. What are you doing? Yeah, don't pop it in the thing. Chew your nail afterwards. Atari and Activision kind of the same thing. But we, as a family, have had almost every gaming console.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
about.
We've had a Wii. We've had a PlayStation. We've had an NES. We've had
64.
64, GameCube,
Still have the 64 and
Game Gear.
the Sega Game Gear.
Game Gear.
I don't remember.
Sonic 3. Lemmings.
We've had the Xbox. We didn't have a 360.
Yeah, we had a 360.
We had the
a
original Xbox.
And
We
the
had the 360, and I have
The one.
a one. We don't have an X. Nor do I care to have.
I don't. I have a PlayStation 4.
We had a PlayStation.
We had
A
three.
PlayStation 3.
2. I had a 2.
I didn't have a 2.
We had a one.
I got a 2 much later, like after the 3 was out. But like I did have a 2.
And we had a PlayStation.
Yeah.
We've had a number of plug and plays.
It's just a staple in the house.
But like we've all always gamed and had a good time.
Yeah.
And Nathan just plays the weirdest games.
I thought of one more. One more. Regret. I'm gonna regret if I don't talk about it. Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, Nathan
I
does
was
love
surprised
Sea
that
of
wasn't
Thieves.
on your list
He does love Sea of Thieves.
because you did a lot of Sea of Thieves.
That and Red Dead Redemption. But they're both kind of the similar online multiplayer, so he'd hate it. Sea of Thieves is pirates, kind of cartoony-ish. Pirates, magic, kind of Pirates of the Caribbean feel.
Yeah.
And then Red Dead Redemption 2, Wild.
What was the game that caused the hubbub at GameStop? I like that one too.
Dead Island.
Dead Island. Yeah, Dead Island. Nathan's copy of Dead Island got somebody fired from GameStop.
Did he get fired?
That manager was no longer there by the time I started working there.
Oh.
I don't know if he got fired because of that, but he got fired shortly
That's
after
what-
that for same reason.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's very
Yeah.
Your buddy, that's what he told me. He got fired. And I wasn't trying to get him fired. I just
It wasn't the first time.
don't tell a kid if you pre-order a game you're going to get something, and then he pre-orders it with his own money, and then they don't give it to him because he's a kid. No, I'm not having it. So anyway, we took on our backup video games off our list. Our honorable mentions to our honorable
Runner-ups.
mentions. Now you go take on the world, and still got to come up with a name for this gimmick.
Attack of the Nerd edition.
Take on the nerds. Anyway, bye.
Nice.
Adios.
This show is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find the other great shows on the network, head over to thedeluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill. You want to be my wife?
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.